Man, oh man, I was thinking that this offseason was really going to be unbelievable when it comes to trades, and yes, there might not be a lot of centers available, but I still did think that the Vancouver Canucks and the Montreal Canadiens were going to be able to solve their center position, and why that might not be over, but it depends. We have some pretty interesting news and information, trade rumors, signing rumors to go over today that relate around the Vancouver Canucks, but guys, welcome back to Pixel Plus Hockey. If you could make sure to hit that subscribe button, it would be so greatly appreciated. I'm getting close to my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and thank you so much to those that are already supporting me as well. Now, in my opinion, Mason McTavish would probably be the white whale, pun intended, by the way, for the Canucks. I mean, Mason McTavish, Marco Rossi, like I said, I think that Rossi kind of matches with the Canucks a little bit better. He's a little bit undersized, but it looks like that's not happening now. Till this time, up to date, Mason McTavish has not re-signed with the Anaheim Ducks, which is good. I mean, we don't know exactly what would happen with him, so we can hope. I mean, that would be the perfect addition for the Canucks. Pedersen, McTavish, and then Hedl down the middle. I mean, that would really solidify their center position. I mean, you could even argue that if Elias Pettersson has a bad season, Mason McTavish might be able to hop over him. If you understand, I mean, not that I think that would happen, it's possible. But we do have another really interesting quote here from Frank Cervalli regarding Mason McTavish. He was a hot topic, a guy who I think could potentially use a change of scenery. I don't think that's ultimately going to happen. Don't see him as an offer sheet candidate. That's pretty interesting to me because I think that he should move. It sounds like he's not happy. Interestingly enough, when it comes to contract demands, we know that Mason McTavish actually prefers a long-term deal, and the Anaheim Ducks want a short-term deal. I don't really know why the Anaheim Ducks want a short-term deal. I think he's proven himself enough to possibly get, I would sign him to 6.5, 7. I think he's a solidified second-line center. I think that, the cap is going up. I mean, I don't think that's that unreasonable from him at all. And it is pretty crazy that he is still unsigned. I mean, midway through August. I mean, it's not completely unrealistic that he would sign, but I'm just really interested to see where this one will go. But what we're hearing right now is that he is probably going to end up re-signing in Anaheim. And here we have a really interesting quote that centers around this. With Mason McTavish now reportedly off the market and not available for a trade, the Canucks will have to pivot elsewhere if they still want to bring in another centerman before the season begins, and perhaps they could even re-engage talks with Minnesota for Marco Rossi after making them an offer nearly 2 months ago. Yes, see, this is one thing that I would really love the Canucks to do. I think Rossi would be perfect for them. We know they already offered their first round selection for him, so why not try it again? Not that pick, and I wouldn't want the Vancouver Canucks to give up their first round pick, but I'm sure that they could still work something out. I do wonder what the asking price for Marco Rossi is, but he would look really, really good. Obviously, when it comes to Marco Rossi, he is a smaller centerman, so you're going to need to put him with bigger wingers to balance the line out. I don't really think that you can have too many small players, especially on the same line. Now, when it comes to more realistic options that can play center, you probably are going to be looking at a Jack Roslovic. And even when it comes to the Maple Leafs, I think that the Leafs have more than enough centers. I think that he would look much better in a Vancouver Canucks jersey, in my opinion. And here we have more interesting comments from the man himself, Frank Cervalli, regarding Jack Roslovic. What about the Vancouver Canucks? That would make a lot of sense for Jack Roslovic as well. And let's be clear, a lot of people hate on this player. I wouldn't say he's at the top of my list, but again, he's not that old. He's only 28 years old. He did score 22 goals last year, so I don't think it's outrageous that he could score between 20 and 25 goals, especially with playing time. He played with a defense-first franchise in the Carolina Hurricanes. If you put him with players, decent players, is it that impossible that he could have a 23, 24 goal season? I don't think so. So this actually makes a lot of sense in my opinion. And here we have another interesting quote that I definitely agree with. The alignment is natural, as Vancouver might require another middle six forward, and Roslovic's flexibility allows him to slide in as a second or third line center. So he has some ability to play center. I don't personally look at Roslovic as an everyday center. I look at him as a guy that has the ability to play center. But again, I'm kind of surprised he's not signed. I wonder what exactly he is asking for. You know what? We'll make question of the video. What exactly would you guys be okay signing Roslovic for? You know, would you go to 3.5? If he's asking that, do you think that's reasonable? And here we have another really interesting quote. The Canucks have $3.2 million of cap space, and that could potentially be too little to fit Roslovic in. However, his last contract carried an average annual of $4 million. So Vancouver could need to cut some space depending on his price. Yeah. I don't think I would go that high for him, and this is where I think it's actually probably holding the Roslovic camp up. I think Roslovic thought he was going to get a lot more in free agency than he is. Typically, when players aren't signed this long into free agency, they didn't get what they expected. And I'm telling you, I've told you guys this before, that, you know, be careful what you wish for going to free agency. Just because you think you're a hot commodity doesn't mean you're not going to get pushed down, because at the end of the day, teams make moves, right? You can have a team that makes moves, their center and their wing position is full. At the end of the day, you're a middle six guy. It doesn't matter to those teams. They don't want you at the end of the day, right? And if you're asking too much and their cap space is up and they look at you as a relative replacement player, here's the thing. If they can manage to get Roslovic at a bargain, I would absolutely do this for the Vancouver Canucks for sure. If you can't, like, let's say you can get him at 2.75. I would consider that, in my opinion. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave this video here. If you can make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, guys. And make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.